Hi there, this is Yugioh Dekoichi. I'm back here with another deck recipe for my Inferno Tempest Deckout deck. It also works as a life point draining deck. You can normally win either or, so with further ado, let me get started. First of all, I just want to apologise for not being able to do any decks recently. I've been really busy with this True Achievements tournament and work and stuff, so yeah, well, let's get to it. The main cards are for. I'm gonna go with magics first. That's a bit different because the magics are actually more important in this deck than the actual monsters are. So what I'm gonna do is there's a lot of drop power in this deck. There's a lot to go over, so just bear with me. Allure of Darkness. I've got this to work with various amounts of monsters, and I'll go over that when I go for the monsters. Card Destruction. You're basically wanting to weed out your opponent's hand and weed out your hand if you get a bad hand. So, but mainly I'd use it for my opponent really. Say if I've got Macrocosmos on the field, that's more cards than remove from play for my D.D Dynamite. So, after that, I've got two gold Sarcophaguses for Inferno Tempest, for a D.D Dynamite, or a grinder Golem. It depends on what you need really at the current time of drawing this card. And I've got two Inferno Tempest, as I mentioned. I would have ran 3, but like I've got loads of cards to get out. Like I've got gold Sarcophagus, and I might draw them themselves, and I've got lots of drop out in this deck, so I don't feel like I need to run 3 of those. One Lightning Vortex, just in the off chance that your opponent is swarming you with lots of cards, and I mean, if you're giving them lava golems and grinder golems, you may need to use lightning vortex. So, I just put that there as a safety net, to be honest. Two Messenger of Peace. I was contemplating maybe putting in a third. I might have had a third one in at one point. I'm still kind of playing around with that idea. But two Messengers of Peace. One Soul Absorption. I've got this just because you will be removing from play a lot of cards pretty damn fast. So, I mean, in my example though, as you'll see, this card saved my life and allowed me to use my Inferno Tempest. The example though was found up to the side. One Soul Release. I think it's a very underused card within this game actually. We select up to 5 cards in any of the graveyards and remove them from play. Say you have, for example, you have your Vally in the graveyard and you want to remove it from play to use its effect. You can do it with that card, or if there's any card that's you want rid of from the graveyard. I mean, that's 5 cards, that's a lot of damage for your D.D Dynamites there. Certainly a card that I would recommend keeping in your deck. One Trading, I only need to run one of these because I've got overall 6 level 8 cards, so I mean, using one trading is pretty useful. And one Upstart Goblin, because I know it gives your opponent life points, and you want to take off life points. But with D.D Dynamite, I can win with one D.D Dynamite easily with this deck. It takes off like maybe 10,000 life points. So I mean, it's crazy, it's mad. So I don't really mind giving them life points if it means drawing out an extra card from my deck. We're gonna go for the traps now. 3 D.D Dynamites. You can literally win with one. If you can use Inferno Tempest and get one D.D Dynamite, you can practically win the game quite easily, just with one. But I've run 3, just in case. You just never know when you might actually need one. I've also got 3 Macrocosmos for the whole remove from play business. Don't feel like I need to go over those 3 cards. 2 Reckless Greeds. I don't know how people think about this deck, but as I said, this deck runs really quick, and there's a lot of drop power in this deck, so Reckless Greed is certainly a card I like to use, and there's certain ways and certain times you should probably use this card. For example, if you have this on the field, right, I normally play this not at first. If I had loads of traps or magics, because you're going to rely, I went for the magic and trap cards because you're going to rely on your backrow a lot in this deck. You're going to rely on your messenger pieces, your macrocosmoses, you know, so most of the times, 9 times out of 10 in this game, your opponent may draw a Heavy Storm or Mystical Space Typhoon, and they'll normally always use it when they get the chance. So I'll always put Reckless Greed on the field just to kind of taunt them, and if they do use it, then I will quickly activate Reckless Greed, and it's kind of wasting their card. well I get 2 cards. Or if that doesn't happen, I'll keep Reckless Greed on the field until I need to use it. Until I have enough other cards in my hand that I can actually still keep drawing even over the next 2 draw phases where my draw phases are skipped. So, I mean, you should always use it at the start of your turn as well. So you draw 1 card and then you draw 2 more, giving you a total of 3 cards. So yeah, I run 3 Reckless Greeds and 1 Threatening Roar just to stop my opponent in his tracks if he does try to attack me. So yeah, that's some magic and traps over and done with this. 23 magic and traps in total there for you. I'll now go for the monsters and what I use the monsters for. I use 1 Cyber Valley, pretty self-explanatory. I could use him with another monster to draw 2 cards. I can use him with Valley to get Valley effect. I could use him with Needleworm, use him with another card in my hand to get something at the top of my deck. Plenty of options that Valley can become useful. 1 Morphing Jar, I don't think I need to explain him really. He gives you 5 cards when you need some more cards. And it also helps you weed out your opponent's deck. Needleworm, I've got run 3 Needleworms just to specifically weed out your opponent's deck. I don't run any jars apart from Morphing Jar, because that will weed out your own deck more than you really want to, and you don't want to get rid of too many cards in your deck. Sure, they kind of doing that with the amount of drop outlets. 1 Spirit Reaper, just to stall and keep your front line defended. You know, that's it. Also works with Microcosmos as well, Allure of Darkness as well. So yeah, I run 1 DD Assailant and 1 DD Warrior. I run these specifically for just in case you have given your opponent a really strong monster and you obviously don't want them to attack the life points, so, or if maybe they have a strong monster, so you put that down just to defend your front line. They attack, they destroy it, their card gets removed from play. Again, you want to keep removing from play cards, so there are 2 cards that you definitely want to keep in your deck. I run 3, what we call them, Battlechanted Locomotive. Again, for extra draw power, and they're also a frontline defense. They also all work with Allure of Darkness. Normally it would be good if I had these in my hand when I use Reckless Greed, because that means I'll still technically get my draw phase. And they're also under 1500 attack, so I can still attack with them even if Messenger can see them. I run 2 Necrofaces. I need to go through Necroface a little bit, right? I never ever really use Necroface for Gold Sarcophagus. Most of the Burnout decks and the Deckout decks that I've came across will use Gold Sarcophagus and Necroface, just so they can keep weeding out their cards. But I don't really like doing that. Most of the time, when I'm using Inferno Tempest, these 2 cards will get removed from play. And if that happens, be damn careful. I can't explain that enough. Keep in mind that you're losing every monster that's in your deck, and your opponent is losing every monster in your deck, followed by an extra 2 Necrofaces. So that's an additional 10 cards that you're losing on top of every single monster in your deck. Same goes for your opponent, mind you, but if you don't have any DD Dynamites in your hand, then you have a high risk of removing from play your DD Dynamites. Although if you have 1 DD Dynamite in your hand, that's fine, or even 2. You know, just keep yourself a backup, and just make sure that never use Inferno Tempest if you can get away with it when you've not got a DD Dynamite in your hand, or when you've not used Gold Sarcophagus on DD Dynamite, because you're really running the risk of doing that. Sometimes you may need to take the chance, and sometimes it'll work out, sometimes it won't. 3 Grinder Golems. Oh yeah, sorry, I'll go back there. I like to use Necroface for Allure of Darkness just to get his effect as well. It's very useful. I use 3 Grinder Golems, and basically, if you don't know this card, to activate the effect of Inferno Tempest, you need to take 3000 points of damage, and 1 attack. So he's got 3000 attack. You special summon him onto your opponent's side of the field. That will give you 2 Grinder tokens, which have 0 attack and 0 defense. You cannot normal summon or set a monster when you play this card, so you kind of want to make sure you've got backline defense, like Messenger Piece when you play this card, or something on the field in defense position, maybe. But keep in mind, so if you play Grind Golem, like, you get 2 attack tokens attack points of 0. So if you were to attack Grind the Golem, you take 3000 worth of damage. That will activate Inferno Tempest, like, only if it's in your hand during your phase. So if you attack for your token and you just put down Inferno Tempest face down on the field, it won't work. It has to be in your hand because it's a quick play magic card. If you're gonna let your opponent attack with Grind the Golem, then set Inferno Tempest. That's I can't stress that enough. I didn't actually know that the first time I made this deck. I learned that the hard way. But yeah, so just make sure, again, just to recap, if you're gonna attack with a token to take 3000 damage to activate Inferno Tempest, make sure it's in your hand and not on the field. So yeah, there we go there. 3 lava golems, right? You may think, why is there running lava golems? I have so much stalls in this deck, and I'm thinking about even putting some more in. Don't know where I could put the extra stall in, but I've got so much stall in this deck, and when someone plays 2 monsters, sometimes they might even play really high level monsters like Stardust Dragon or even Stardust Dragon Assault mode. I can tribute those cards to summon Lava Golem on their side of the field and take off 1000 worth of damage. And keep in mind that you'll be removed from play cards all the time, so like it helps get rid of 2 cards they've got on their side of the field, and it also takes off life point damage off each turn they have it on the field, which will make your D.D Dynamites much more lethal, and you'll need less cards to remove from play to actually use it. So I run 3 of them, and it works out splendidly. I don't actually know what else to go over in this video, I have to say. So basically I got a side deck just so that my opponent doesn't know exactly what kind of deck I'm running. But yeah, so that's how it works there. It's got most of the cards are draw power or defense cards. Think of it this way: you've got a 42 card deck, right? Your main goal is to remove every single monster in your deck and your opponent's deck, and then use D.D Dynamite to destroy his lifelines. You can also end up decking some of that depending on what deck they're using. In the example duel, I go up against a 60 card deck and almost deck him out and do like over 10,000 worth of life point damage. That's why I think this deck fun, because it's different. It's not your typical kind of Necro Valley middle deck. It runs differently, and it's very surprising. It's a giant troll deck. Again, I've been practicing this deck for a while. If you guys think you've got anything that you could add to this deck, or even suggestions of what to take out, maybe put in, then I'd love to hear your suggestions, because I'm kind of thinking about putting in a little bit more stall, maybe take out Lightning Vortex. Maybe my deck might benefit if I put some more cards in it than 42. Who knows? Just give me a shout though. I've actually been testing this deck out a lot. It runs pretty smooth, so I hope this deck proves useful for you guys, and if you like this deck, check out my other decks and maybe subscribe. That could be awesome. That would be very nice. Makes me happy. Put smiles on my face. Anyway, catch you guys later. Bye.